This is the new Blackmagic Studio Camera 4K Pro, and today we are going to see how it stands up in terms of image quality. First, you can send tally information to each camera. The tally is this big light on top that will turn red when the camera is on air and green when the camera will be on air on the next shot. This way, each camera operator knows when to be very cautious about the framing, when to get ready because the director will take the shot soon, and when to relax. In the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. I did a few tests indexing. That's the one in the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. I did a few tests in different environments with both the Studio Camera 4K Pro and the Blackmagic Pocket 4K. And when they share the same settings and the very same lens, the footage is nearly identical. I had a look at the B-roll files in Resolve, and they indeed seem to have the exact same noise levels, the dual ISO features, etc. Of course, if I'm wrong on this, please correct me in the comments. I have no idea what sensor has been to comment on that. Now, what I can say is that I have used the Blackmagic Pocket 4K very extensively on live production shoots these past few years, and on the field, the images are incredible and the low light sensitivity is very, very good. So it's very good news to see that sensor integrated in a live production camera from Blackmagic. So if you want to get a feel of the image you can get from the studio camera, I'd recommend you check YouTube videos that showcase Pocket 4K footage due to the similarities between the two sensors. Blackmagic has opted for micro four foot sensors, which I think is not a bad choice. EF and RF mounts are not really suited for live production because of the big sensors they have. With the MFT lens mount, you can use both MFT lenses and EF lenses too with a speed booster, so I think it opens up plenty of opportunities. If you're looking for good MFT lenses, I'd strongly recommend going over the Olympus 12-100 f4 lens. It's my favorite MFT lens for live production because it has great optical quality, image stabilization, and it's already very sharp at f4. Also, it has an incredible range. I think it's one in a kind, like 12-100 millimeter f4. With such a good optical quality, I don't think that there's an equivalent on the market. And if you're looking for a good telephoto lens, I'd go for the Panasonic Lumix Leica 50-200. Of course, these lenses are a bit expensive, so if there are any other lenses that you like and you would like to recommend to others, feel free to let everyone know in the comments. Of course, the B4 lens mount would have been ideal, but these broadcast lenses are quite big and good lenses are quite expensive. So I'd rather see that type of sensor and mount in a V2 version of the Ursa broadcast, maybe. It would make more sense. Although the camera is not designed for this type of lens, I did try to put a B4 lens on this camera using a PhotoDiox adapter here. And as you can see, so like you can fit one of those lenses on this camera. However, due to the smaller image circle of the lens, I got a horrible vignetting effect. That maybe could be solved if Blackmagic added a crop mode on the camera. Besides, the electronics of the lens are incompatible with the Micro Four Thirds electronic system, so I wasn't able to drive the focus, iris, and zoom of the lens electronically. So I would love to see a proper B4 to MFT adapter combined to some sort of crop mode from Blackmagic. I have only tested the Pro version of the Studio Camera 4K, but the Plus version is essentially a stripped down version of the Pro camera. In terms of I/O, you only get one 12-volt power input, an HDMI output, and two USB-C connections, as well as a 3.5mm jack, mic, and phone connection in the Plus version. Also, the screen of the Plus model is a little inferior. I guess it's lower priced. It has a 600 nits brightness instead of 2000 nits on the Pro model. I'd say the Plus model targets the ATEM Mini users, whereas the Pro model is more geared towards users that have higher end ATEM models. I didn't have the opportunity to test the Studio Converter and the Zoom and Focus remotes at that stage, since they will only be available in October, but we are familiar with the Fujinon remotes that look very similar. And I can tell you that these are invaluable. So I was surprised to see Blackmagic making those at a much lower price, because these cost thousands of dollars. Besides, just as the F1, F2, and F3 shortcuts next to the LCD screen, you can assign quick toggles the Pro model is more geared towards users that have a higher end